All right, everyone, welcome back. We're in 2024 now. Welcome back. Big Blue in the Bronx welcomes you back to another New York Mets video. And of course, I'm your host, John, right here. And the Big Blue in the Bronx cast, we do wish you a happy new year. We hope you had a great holiday. All right, but we're back with content. All right, we got another Mets video coming out here. All right, we're going to be doing more content for y'all throughout the month of January and obviously the months after. We got obviously the Senior Bowl this month that we still got for y'all, but this is not that. We got another Mets video, and in this one we got to talk about them potentially adding a specific bat that they had interest last week. Now I know there was reports today that they had uh, with some pitchers, with whether it was Hyun-Jin Ryu or Sean Manaea, two lefties they might want to add to their rotation. They might want to get another starter. But I was looking at a potential bat they could add because they did have interest in him last week, or a few days ago, I should say, and that being JD Martinez from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Now, it's funny because they've had interest in years past too. Remember 2 years ago, there was potential trade talks with the Boston Red Sox at one point in acquiring him. Now, JD Martinez is 36 years old. Okay, he's not getting any younger, and he's a well-established veteran in this league. Okay, he's been playing in the bigs pretty much back to his original days at Houston since like 2011, 2012. That kind of veteran. So he's going to be looking for probably he's probably looking for a 2-3 year deal, kind of making the around like 18-20 million dollars per season. Just because he knows, this is probably the last chance to get some money out of him while he still has some good baseball left in him. And last year the market wasn't that great for him. He bet on himself this year with the Los Angeles Dodgers, took a 1 year deal with them, and he raked for them. 33 bombs on the season, 103 RBIs, 893 OPS, and I mean that's just great numbers for a 36-year-old. I mean, he's also got plenty of playoff experience, whether it being with the Dodgers last year, with Boston, even to the his earlier days, probably before he coming over to Boston. So nevertheless, why should the Mets go get? Well, he's a DH who goes right in the middle of the lineup, and you look at the DH spot right now, and probably the lead guy right for that candidate is DJ Stewart. He's a bit of an outfield. He might platoon a little with Tyrone Taylor out in a corner outfield spot, and not only that, he's but we did get a good glimpse of DJ Stewart last year, but it wasn't a huge sample size. He did get a little streaky. Not to say he was a bad player, but we don't know if he can replicate those numbers over a 162 game span for an MLB season. We know JD Martinez can definitely do that, and he won't be that expensive, like I said, just because the contract length won't be that big and whatnot. Now, JD Martinez, the reason why I really want him in New York Mets uniform is because he will easily give Pete Alonso some protection. I mean, this guy is one of those run knockers, and people say RBIs don't matter, and to that I say fooey to that nonsense and idea. Okay, there's obviously some analytics that I like in Major League Baseball, but RBIs are a very important stat. How do you do when you have runners on? And what do you do in big situations? You look at some of the years he's had in the past. 2015, back in Detroit, he had 102 RBIs. 2017, back in Detroit, he had 104 RBIs. 2018, his first season with Boston, 130 RBIs. Then he had 105 RBIs the next year. Then in 2021, 99 RBIs with them. This past year with the Dodgers, 103 RBIs. So this guy is a guy that can knock in runs. He's actually drove in over 1,000 runs in his career, and also has over 300 homers in his career. So he can give you that extra boost in the lineup, and he still does have some good numbers that can really help this ball club out. Now, some other possible DHs that the Mets could use that are currently on the roster. They could go with the younger options, with Beatty and Vientos. And while I don't mind that option at all, I honestly think you should give them the chance to fight it out at third base. It's their position that they were brought up and called on to do for. And I don't think it would be smart to go get a veteran third baseman and take playing time away from those guys. Now, if they did go the route of adding some depth there in case of injury or in case of really big struggles, fine, I could see that. And I'm like, you know what? That's okay. But I think it should be their job to have between Beatty and Vientos. We all know the struggles they had last year. But again, these guys are kids. Sometimes they have to figure out the league. And it didn't go so good for either of these guys, especially for Brett Beatty when they had their playing time this year. And Vientos, we all know that he didn't really get a consistent amount of playing time for a while. And we all know the whole debacle that Billy Epler wanted Daniel Vogelback at the DH every day instead of Mark Vientos, which was a big mistake. But nevertheless, another reason why I think that JD Martinez would be a great fit, not just because he's a DH and he can serve as your primary DH, but he rakes well against lefties. These New York Mets have been terrible against left-handed pitching. And, again, Martinez not a superstar, but let's look at some of the numbers for the Mets and JD Martinez against lefties, and let's look at the comparison. So the Mets versus lefties, right? You'll see 237 batting average, which is ranked 28th in baseball against lefties. 310 on base. That's pretty bad as well. 25th that ranked in the MLB against lefties. 398 slugging percentage. That ranked 24th in the MLB against lefties. And then a 708 OPS, ranking 24th as well. For those that don't know, that's pretty much bad to horrible stats against lefties. Those are not good numbers at all. There is nothing good about those numbers. I mean, you look at some of the leaders ahead of them. There's offenses like Detroit and Kansas City that have better numbers against lefties, and that just can't happen with this ball club. You look at JD Martinez and what he did against lefties, right? 274 batting average, 343 on base, 581 slugging, and 924 OPS. Those are some very, very good numbers against left-handed pitching, okay? That shows right there, then and there, that they can use another bat like JD Martinez, because what could this team do last year? Or not just last year, but for a couple of years now, hit lefties. What can JD Martinez do? Hit lefties really well. So I think that'd be a perfect fit. Now, there might even be one better fit, and if they went that route just because he's younger and he's pretty much a solid DH as well, and he's got playoff experience, Jorge Soler would be a perfect fit as well. So for those that are saying I'd rather have Jorge Soler, I'm fine with grabbing him, man. There is no issue at all with grabbing a Jorge Soler. You've seen him do it with Miami. You've seen him last year. You've seen him do it in the Braves uniform. We saw how good he was in Kansas City. So you want to go make that argument? Fine, I'm with you. I'm just saying because the Mets have shown interest in JD Martinez, I would be fine with either bat as a DH in this lineup if they wanted to add an extra bat. Now, here is something that really irked me today, and I'll tell you why. Again, this was today, I believe, with WFAN and the wonderful, wonderful show of Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata talking about washed players. And this is their words, not mine. I'm not using any of my words here. These are their words that they said for the wonderful job that they did. Martinez will come here. This is according to Sal Licata, the genius. Martinez will come here 2 years too late. Then he'll come back here and suck, Sal said. I wouldn't touch him. If the Mets are listening, I'm begging you. Please, please do not get JD Martinez. Get anyone else. Get Jorge Soler, Teoscar Hernandez, whatever other DH you want. Justin Turner, bring him here. It's just, and then he goes on to say, I would rather trade for Giancarlo Stanton. I do not want JD Martinez. He's got washed up written all over him. The second he signs with the Mets, he's going downhill. JD Martinez would be so bad. Mets fans would be begging for Daniel Vogelback back. Okay, let's dissect that whole nonsense that he spewed out today. First off, nobody is wishing for Danny Vogelback back in a New York Mets uniform. So I don't know what he sees or why he's just looking for clicks and whatnot, but that is an awful take. And to say you rather trade for Giancarlo Stanton, who can't run, and he makes so much money compared to a 1 or 2 year deal for JD Martinez, who, by the way, I understand he's 36, but he has shown no signs of slowing down, no matter where he's gone. Okay, he's been good for so long now, for over a decade now. He deserves his respect as a hitter. Okay, it's not like you're asking him to play the field every day. You're asking him to be a DH. So to ask to trade for the rest of Giancarlo Stanton's contract is foolish. A foolish take by the wonderful, wonderful Sal Licata yet again. So that's my thoughts. I do think, in all honesty, I would like them to go grab an extra bat. I kind of did like that last year. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they do. Okay. There'll be more rumors in the next week or two that we'll break down. But guys, again, we hope you had a great holidays. We'll definitely be here with more content. All right. I know my man Alex just put out the Wandy Peralta video for the Yankees. So you Yankee fans, go check that out. All right. So make sure to go like, comment, subscribe, turn on those post notifications, and I will see you in the next one.